You can't reduce emissions without becoming poorer. At least, that's what many people believe. So I analyzed 33 countries, rich countries, developing countries, industrial countries, even oil producers. And every time I thought I'd found an excuse, another country challenged it. Let's start with Finland. If there is one group of countries people expect to perform well, it's the Nordics. And Finland certainly did. Since 2010, Finland's emissions per person have fallen by almost 56%. At the same time, GDP per person increased by more than 14%. So yes, Finland became both cleaner and richer. But perhaps that's not very surprising. Finland is a Nordic country. What about a southern European country like Portugal? Portugal is not among Europe's richest countries, yet its emissions per person fell by almost 32%. Meanwhile, GDP per person increased by almost 30%. So this isn't just a Nordic story. A southern European country managed to become cleaner and richer as well. But perhaps there's another explanation. Maybe this is easier for countries that are still catching up. What about one of the richest countries on Earth like Switzerland? Since 2010, Switzerland's emissions per person have fallen by almost 38%. At the same time, GDP per person increased by nearly 36%. So Switzerland didn't have to choose between prosperity and lower emissions. It achieved both. But Finland, Portugal, and Switzerland are relatively small countries. What about a larger economy like the United Kingdom? The UK's emissions per person fell by more than 44%. Meanwhile, GDP per person increased by almost 34%. So this isn't just something that works in small countries. The UK has nearly 70 million people, yet it managed to significantly reduce emissions while becoming more prosperous. But critics could still argue that the UK isn't the toughest test. Its economy is heavily focused on services. So what about a major industrial power like Germany? Germany is Europe's largest economy and one of the world's biggest industrial exporters. Yet its emissions per person fell by almost 34%. At the same time, GDP per person increased by more than 32%. So a large industrial economy managed to reduce emissions while becoming more prosperous as well. But all of these countries still have something in common. They are long-established democracies with mature economies. So what about a country that started from a very different place, like Romania? Romania's emissions per person fell by nearly 13%, not as dramatic as Finland or the UK. But during the same period, GDP per person increased by roughly 139%. Romania didn't just become richer, it became dramatically richer while still reducing emissions. But maybe all of this is still just a European story. After all, Europe has spent years pushing for lower emissions. So let's leave Europe entirely. What about a Latin American country, like Argentina? Argentina might be one of the last countries many people would expect to find on this list. The country has become almost synonymous with economic instability. High inflation, debt crises, currency crashes, political turbulence. Yet emissions per person still fell by more than 17%. At the same time, GDP per person increased by more than 36%. Even here, we see the same pattern. Higher incomes, lower emissions. Fine. Nordic countries, Southern Europe, rich countries, industrial countries, former Eastern Bloc countries, Latin America. But surely none of this applies to major oil producers. Or does it? What about a major oil producer, like the United States? Well, actually, the United States isn't just a major oil producer. It's the world's largest oil producer. Yet emissions per person fell by more than 22%. Meanwhile, GDP per person increased by more than 74%. The United States still has higher emissions per person than most countries in this video. But even here we see the same pattern. Higher prosperity, lower emissions. Of course, these weren't the only countries that could have appeared in this video. Denmark and Sweden were strong Nordic examples. France and Italy also reduced emissions while increasing prosperity. Poland and the Czech Republic performed strongly in Central and Eastern Europe. South Korea also showed that even a major manufacturing economy can make progress. And Saudi Arabia managed to reduce emissions despite being one of the world's largest oil producers too. Before we finish, let's look at the broader picture. These were the countries with the largest emissions reductions since 2010, while also increasing GDP per capita. And these were the countries with the highest GDP per capita, while still reducing emissions. The lesson from these 33 countries is not that every country should copy Finland, Switzerland, or the United States. The lesson is that there isn't just one model. Different countries, different histories, different economies, different energy systems. Yet many of them found ways to become more prosperous while reducing emissions. I've analyzed 33 countries, not all countries in the world. Is there a country you think deserves to be on these lists? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Would you like to know how Switzerland managed to reduce its emissions, for example? Then I recommend watching this video next.